Welcome to this in-depth exploration of games and decisions, introduction and critical survey by R. Duncan Luce and Howard Rafa, a cornerstone text in the fields of game theory and decision analysis. If you've ever wondered how individuals and organizations make choices in complex and uncertain environments, this book offers a clear and insightful roadmap. Written as a bridge between technical research and applied decision-making, it presents game theory and decision theory in an accessible yet rigorous format. In this video, we'll unpack its central ideas, foundational concepts, and real-world relevance. Foundations of Decision Theory. The book begins by introducing decision theory as a framework for analyzing choices made under conditions of certainty, risk, and uncertainty. Luce and Rafa explore the fundamental principles of rational decision-making, emphasizing the role of preferences, utility, and information. They build on the concept of utility maximization, where decision-makers evaluate options based on the expected utility of outcomes. This approach is grounded in the axioms of rational choice, ensuring logical consistency in decision-making processes. From individual to strategic decisions. While decision theory focuses on individual choices, the authors seamlessly transition to game theory, which examines strategic interactions between multiple decision-makers. They highlight the difference between these frameworks. In decision theory, the environment is often passive or probabilistic, while in game theory, other players actively influence outcomes. This shift introduces the complexity of predicting others' actions and responding strategically, a hallmark of game-theoretic analysis. Two-person zero-sum games. The book provides a thorough treatment of two-person zero-sum games, where one player's gain is precisely the other's loss. Luce and Rafa delve into the mechanics of such games, explaining concepts like pure strategies, mixed strategies, and the minimax theorem. They present practical examples to illustrate these ideas, making the abstract mathematics more relatable. The authors also emphasized the importance of saddle points, which represent equilibrium solutions in zero-sum games. Beyond zero-sum, general-sum games. Moving beyond the simplicity of zero-sum games, Luce and Rafa explore general-sum games, where players' interests may align or conflict in complex ways. These games introduce possibilities for cooperation, negotiation, and compromise. The authors analyze strategic moves, such as threats, promises, and commitments, which can influence the behavior of other players. This section underscores the versatility of game theory in modeling real-world interactions, from business negotiations to international diplomacy. Game theory and rationality. A central theme of the book is the interplay between rationality and strategy. The authors discuss how game theory assumes rational players who act to maximize their payoffs. However, they also acknowledge the limitations of this assumption, noting that real-world decision-makers may be influenced by emotions, cognitive biases, or incomplete information. By addressing these challenges, Luce and Rafa present game theory as both a powerful tool and a work in progress. Utility theory and risk. Utility theory is a cornerstone of both decision theory and game theory. The authors provide an accessible introduction to this concept, explaining how utility functions represent individual preferences and risk attitudes. They discuss expected utility theory as a way to make decisions under uncertainty, highlighting its strengths and limitations. For instance, they address paradoxes like the Allais paradox, which reveal inconsistencies in human decision-making. N-person games and coalition formation. Expanding their analysis to multiplayer games, Luce and Rafa explore the dynamics of coalition formation. They examine how groups of players can collaborate to achieve mutual benefits and how payoffs are distributed within coalitions. The concept of the core, which represents stable payoff distributions, is introduced and analyzed in depth. The authors also discuss bargaining solutions and the conditions under which cooperative agreements are likely to emerge. Bargaining and negotiation. A highlight of the book is its treatment of bargaining and negotiation, which are central to many real-world applications of game theory. Luce and Rafa present models of bargaining that account for power dynamics, time preferences, and information asymmetries. They analyze strategies for achieving optimal agreements, emphasizing the importance of fairness and efficiency. These insights are directly applicable to fields like labor relations, international trade, and conflict resolution. The role of information. The authors delve into the role of information in decision-making and strategy. They distinguish between perfect and imperfect information games, showing how the availability of information shapes players' choices. The analysis extends to signaling and screening, mechanisms through which players convey or withhold information to influence outcomes. This section highlights the relevance of game theory in fields like economics, where asymmetric information is a common challenge. Repeated games and dynamic strategies. Luce and Rafa introduced the concept of repeated games, where players interact multiple times. They show how repetition creates opportunities for building trust, enforcing cooperation, or punishing defection. The authors analyze strategies like tit for tat, which has been shown to perform well in repeated interactions. This section underscores the dynamic nature of strategic decision-making and its implications for long-term relationships. Applications in economics and beyond. The practical applications of game theory and decision theory are a recurring theme in the book. Luce and Rafa discuss how these frameworks can be used to model competitive markets, auction design, voting systems, and public goods provision. They also explore applications in military strategy, psychology, and biology, demonstrating the interdisciplinary nature of their work. Critique of classical models. While rooted in the mathematical rigor of classical economics, games and decisions offers a critical perspective on traditional models. The authors argue that many economic theories fail to account for the strategic behavior and uncertainty inherent in real-world interactions. By incorporating these elements, their approach provides a richer and more nuanced understanding of decision-making. Psychological insights. Luce and Rafa recognize the importance of psychological factors in decision-making. They discuss how preferences, perceptions, and emotions influence choices, challenging the assumption of purely rational behavior. This acknowledgement of human complexity sets the stage for later developments in behavioral economics and experimental game theory. Limitations and open questions. Despite its groundbreaking contributions, the book is candid about the limitations of game theory and decision theory. The authors highlight unresolved questions, such as how to model irrational behavior or incorporate ethical considerations into strategic analysis. They also discuss the challenges of applying mathematical models to complex, real-world problems. Legacy and influence. Games and decisions has had a profound impact on the study of decision-making and strategic interaction. Its clear exposition and practical examples have made it a classic text, influencing generations of researchers and practitioners. The book has shaped fields as diverse as economics, political science, psychology, and management, leaving an enduring legacy in both theory and practice. Conclusion. In Games and Decisions, Duncan Luce and Howard Rafa created a masterful synthesis of game theory and decision theory. By blending mathematical rigor with practical insights, they provided a framework for understanding how individuals and groups make choices in complex, uncertain environments. While the field has evolved since its publication, the book remains a foundational text, offering timeless lessons for anyone interested in strategy, negotiation, or decision-making. If you're ready to explore the fascinating world of game theory and decision analysis, this is the book to start with. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of groundbreaking ideas that continue to shape our understanding of the world.